In the heart of Italy, where art, history, and romance connect, lies a world far removed from the romantic imagery we often associate with this captivating country. Behind the beautiful exterior, Italy harbors some of the world's oldest and most powerful criminal gangs. Join us as we navigate the dangerous streets where these gangs reign, examining their rise to power, their criminal enterprises, and the chilling consequences their actions have on communities worldwide. Number 4. The Zeta. The Zeta, which translates to star in Sicilian, is a secret criminal organization deeply rooted in the central southern areas of Malta and Sicily. Known as Stirari or Stiraroli, its members operate mostly in rural areas, posing a fierce rival to the notorious Cosa Nostra. Unlike the Cosa Nostra, the Zeta maintained a low profile until the 1980s, when it started expanding into urban centers, sparking intense competition between the two Sicilian groups. While the Cosa Nostra prides itself on an honor code, the Zeta focuses solely on criminal ventures and profits. Public awareness of the Zeta grew when Cosa Nostra Pentito Francesco Marino Manoia revealed its existence in 1989, corroborated by testimony from another mafia member, Leonardo Messina. The Zeta's origin can be traced back to former Cosa Nostra members expelled for disobedience or even affiliations with police officers' relatives. The Zeta's strongholds are in southern Sicily and covers towns like Agrigento, Caltanissetta, Gila, Vittoria, Nisemi, and others. Operating as independent gangs or clans, they may form alliances with each other or local Cosa Nostra chapters, following similar rituals and rules. One distinguishing feature is the membership tattoo, a 5-pointed star etched on the right hand between the thumb and index finger, known as standard. In the early 1990s, the Zeta engaged in a deadly conflict with the Cosa Nostra, leading to hundreds of deaths, including the tragic assassination of Judge Rosario Livatino. Number 3. The Sicilian Mafia, or Cosa Nostra. The Sicilian Mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra, has a long and secretive history on the island of Sicily since the 19th century. It operates as an association of gangs, providing protection and settling disputes for a price. The Mafia's operations revolve around protection racketeering, mediating between criminals, and supervising illegal transactions. The core unit of the Mafia is called a family or clan, each claiming authority over a specific territory, usually a town or neighborhood within a larger city. Members refer to themselves as men of honor, while the public commonly calls them mafiosi. Over time, mass emigration from Sicily led to the spread of mafiosi-style gangs in other parts of the world, adopting the traditions of their Sicilian roots to varying degrees. Unraveling the true origins of Cosa Nostra is challenging, as mafiosi are incredibly secretive and often spread deliberate lies about their past. As Sicily transitioned from feudalism to capitalism and joined Italy, disputes increased, and property owners sought extra-legal protectors and arbitrators. These protectors eventually formed the first mafia clans to enforce laws, negotiate with thieves, and provide protection. Cosa Nostra operates as a loose confederation of approximately 100 groups, each controlling a specific territory, without fully monopolizing violence. While the organization is not centralized, the individual families remain the true centers of power. The families maintain their influence and rule over the association, despite creating higher bodies within the Cosa Nostra. For a considerable period, the individual families held absolute authority within both associations, acting as the primary governing bodies. Even with the establishment of higher bodies like the Sicilian Mafia Commission in the late 1950s within Cosa Nostra, the power centers of the single families continued to be the true sources of control. The Sicilian Mafia Commission was intended to serve as a coordinating body, allowing representatives from different families to come together and make collective decisions. However, the authority of the commission never overshadowed the dominance of single families. While the commission provided a platform for communication and cooperation between families, it did not diminish the influence and power of the individual bosses. These family bosses remained at the core of decision-making. They had the final say in matters related to their clans. This decentralized power structure proved to be both a strength and a challenge for the associations. On the one hand, it allowed for flexibility and adaptability in dealing with local issues and disputes. On the other hand, it made it difficult for law enforcement to target the entire organization through the apprehension of a single boss or commission member. Over the years, the associations have faced numerous crackdowns and investigations by law enforcement. Still, their decentralized structure has allowed them to survive and adapt to changing circumstances. The real centers of power within the individual families have ensured the longevity and resilience of these criminal organizations. making them formidable and elusive adversaries for authorities striving to combat organized crime. Number 2. The Camorra. The Camorra is a notorious criminal organization that originated in Campania, Italy, with roots dating back to the 17th century. It is one of the country's oldest and largest criminal groups. The Camorra operates through individual groups called clans, each led by a capo, or boss, who commands tens or hundreds of affiliates, depending on the clan's strength and structure. Regarded by the Italian government as the most violent and murderous criminal organization in Italy, the Camorra engages in drug trafficking, racketeering, counterfeiting, money laundering, and even political infiltration. Over the years, the Camorra has expanded its influence beyond Italy's borders, gaining a strong presence in other European countries, particularly Spain. Through close connections with South American drug cartels, the Camorra ensures the smooth transportation of drugs into Europe. The origin of the Camorra remain unknown. While it may have started in the 17th century as a descendant of the Spanish secret society Garduña, recent research suggests that the Garduña was more fiction than reality. The term Camorra first appeared officially in 1735, referring to 8 gambling houses established in Naples. The word itself is likely a blend of capo and a Neapolitan street game called mora. When gambling was banned, people turned to Camorra for protection against the police, sparking the organization's evolution into a more structured entity. The Camorra emerged during the power vacuum between 1799 and 1815, amid the Parthenopean Republic and the Bourbon Restoration. The first written records of the Camorra as an organization date back to 1820, showcasing a disciplined tribunal called the Gran Mama. The Camorra's evolution involved shifting from local gangs dependent on theft and extortion to a more organized structure with a hierarchy. After Italy's unification in 1861, the government made efforts to suppress the Camorra and carried out manhunts from 1882. The Cerrito Inquiry in 1900 to 1901 exposed the Camorra's system of political patronage, where family clans acted as intermediaries between local politicians and the community. Leveraging their political sway, the Camorra bosses offered privileges and protection to their clients, and in return, politicians gained broad electoral support from the Camorra's constituency. With its deep-rooted connections, brutal force, and influential social position, the Camorra became a formidable criminal organization. This symbiotic relationship allowed the Camorra clans to emerge as middlemen, effectively bridging the gap between the local community and bureaucrats and politicians on a national level. In exchange for their support, the Camorra granted privileges and protection to their political allies. They used brute force, political status, and social leadership to cement their position as power players. With their deep political connections, the heads of major Neapolitan families became influential brokers in both local and national political spheres. They offered broad electoral support to Neapolitan politicians, ensuring their victory at the polls and securing a network of loyal supporters. These family bosses received significant benefits for their constituency in return for their electoral support. This intricate web of political patronage allowed the Camorra to solidify its grip on power and expand its reach into various levels of governance. By maintaining a favorable relationship with politicians and officials, the Camorra ensured their illicit activities could continue with minimal interference. The alliance between organized crime and politics provided the Camorra with an added layer of protection, making it challenging for law enforcement to crack down on their operations. Despite efforts to combat organized crime, the Camorra's history of political patronage has allowed it to persist and thrive over the years. It remains a formidable force, exerting influence over various aspects of society. Number 1. The 'Ndrangheta. The 'Ndrangheta, an influential Italian mafia-type organized crime syndicate, dates back to the 18th century in Calabria. It's considered the most powerful criminal group in the world. Over the years, the 'Ndrangheta has expanded its reach globally, following significant emigration from Calabria since the 1950s. The organization is known for its horizontal structure, comprising autonomous clans called Ndrin, primarily based on blood relationships. Their main criminal activities include drug trafficking, which they have a near monopoly on in Europe, as well as arms trafficking, money laundering, racketeering, extortion, loan sharking, and involvement in prostitution. The 'Ndrangheta has formed a strong alliance with major South American drug cartels, establishing itself as their most reliable European partner. Not only does the 'Ndrangheta wield significant influence in local and national politics, but it also infiltrates large sectors of the legal economy. According to a study From the Demoscopica Research Institute in 2013, their purported earnings reached 53 billion euros. A U.S. diplomat estimated that the group's drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering activities accounted for at least 3% of Italy's GDP in 2010. Historical reports of the 'Ndrangheta date back to the Bourbon reign of Naples. In 1792, the first official report on the organization was published, revealing disturbing crime phenomena and inefficiencies in the administration of justice. The presence of camorristi, a term used before the formal name 'Ndrangheta, was noticed in 1861, and evidence of 'Ndrangheta-type groups appeared in police reports and court sentences in the 1880s. These secret societies in Calabria's olive and vine-rich areas operated hierarchically, with a code of conduct that included omerta, the code of silence. The 'Ndrangheta is estimated to have around 100 families, with 4,000 to 5,000 members in Reggio Calabria alone. And worldwide, the total number of members may reach about 10,000. The 'Ndrangheta has a significant presence in the Reggio Calabria province, with 86 groups operating there. Approximately 70 criminal groups in the Catanzaro and Cosenza provinces seem to be affiliated with the 'Ndrangheta. These families are concentrated in impoverished villages in Calabria, such as Plati, Locri, San Luca, Africa, Altomonte, and the main city, Reggio Calabria. San Luca is particularly known as the stronghold of the 'Ndrangheta, where many male inhabitants are affiliated with the organization. The sanctuary of Polsi serves as a meeting place for 'Ndranghetisti from all over the world, indicating a sense of collective identity among the Ndrin globally. The 'Ndrangheta's basic local organizational unit is called a locale, with jurisdiction over an entire town or a specific area within a large urban center. This locale may have branches called Ndrina in neighboring districts or towns, and sometimes even outside Calabria, in cities like Turin and Milan. The Ndrin enjoy a degree of autonomy, with leaders and independent staff. Some Ndrina have gained more power than the locale they formerly belonged to. Each Ndrina is usually in control of a small town or neighborhood, and when multiple Ndrina operate in the same town, they form a locale. Family ties play an important role with the 'Ndrangheta, with membership often overlapping with blood family connections. A person can become a member merely by being born into a mafia family. However, other reasons may attract individuals to seek membership. Marriages further solidify relations with each Ndrina and expand membership. As a result, a few blood families constitute each group, leading to many individuals with the same last name facing prosecution for affiliation with a particular Ndrina. The chain of command within the 'Ndrangheta includes the Piccioli d'Onore, also known as soldiers, at the bottom. They carry out tasks with unquestioning obedience until they are promoted to the next level of camorrista, where they gain command over their own group of soldiers. Above them are the Santista, and even higher are the Evangelista, who must swear their dedication to a life of crime on the Bible. The Quintino, also known as Padrino, holds the second highest level of command within an 'Ndrangheta clan. It consists of 5 privileged members who directly report to the boss, the capstone. The 'Ndrangheta's complex structure and deep-rooted family connections have allowed it to establish a vast criminal network and maintain its influence in various regions, making it one of the most formidable organized crime groups in the world. If you like this video, make sure to watch this next one.